This is Harsh Rules. I'm Ben Harsh, and today we're going to take a look at something I got in the mail. So a few days back, I was browsing on Amazon looking at what games were available, and I noticed Tide of Iron, Day of the Fox. Now, what really caught my eye was that I noticed this was the Next Wave edition. This was confusing to me because a couple years back when I bought all the Tide of Iron available, I was under the impression that the Next Wave edition of Days of the Fox was never going to come out. I ended up picking up this first edition copy of Days of the Fox at my local comic book store. And as you can see, it's still in the shrink wrap. I haven't gotten to it yet. So when I saw this Next Wave edition on Amazon, I just assumed it was a mistake, like someone had just posted the wrong picture for the game. Now all this time, the first edition of Day of the Fox has become rather rare. Many times on eBay, I saw copies of it upwards of $100. So when I saw this Next Wave edition on Amazon and it was like $25, I became really curious. And not only that, the market seemed to be flush with copies of Days of the Fox. So I figured, well, it's only $25 and maybe this is actually the Next Wave edition, so I ordered a copy. And once my Next Wave edition showed up, now I figured let's do an unboxing and look at both of them next to each other since I have both in the shrink wrap. So we have both copies of Tide of Iron, Days of the Fox. On the left side is the first edition, and on the right side is the Next Wave edition. So next I'm going to take the shrink wrap off, but I'm going to jump cut ahead so you don't have to watch me flail around with these boxes. So here you see we have the Fantasy Flight logo, and over here we have the 1A logo for the Next Wave. Now we're going to flip over these boxes. Now you can see the artwork is the same, but there are some distinct differences. For example, here we have a call out for the Next Wave core set, and here in the upper left-hand corner of the box, you'll notice that the units listed are actually different. Now let's flip the boxes over again and take a look inside. And here we have a vintage 2007 Fantasy Flight catalog. StarCraft, the board game. Use a time machine to pick up a copy at your local game store. Yep, that's not happening. Alright, over here in the Next Wave version, at least we have some reference sheets. That's at least usable. And oh boy, rule books. Love rule books. Well, most rule books, that is. Now obviously you're just watching this, but the Next Wave version is much heavier. So let's take a little peek inside. Yeah, so the Next Wave rules are 31 pages long. The first edition rules are only 19 pages long. And hot damn, looks like we got some new scenarios since these last pages are different. And it looks like the back page is different as well. Cool. Yeah, feel that weight. Nice. And I won't have to take a bunch of aspirin, hopefully, when I read this one either, since it's the Next Wave edition. Here's the reference sheets for the first edition. Looks like you just packed it in a different order. Here we've got some markers. These are always fun to punch out. Maybe drop them on the floor so they bounce onto the couch. Later on, my wife will suck them up with a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, good times. Yeah, these tiles, the Next Wave one feels heavier. Is there another sheet of markers in here, or is this just heavier cardboard? Yeah, look, the markers are different on the front, so either they rearranged everything when they printed them, or we've got extra stuff in here. Kind of weird, they printed the box divider differently between these. In the first edition, they cut off Rommel's head. Looks like they tried to fix that too in the Next Wave edition. Well, let's flip this box around so I can get to everything. Yep, looks like the first edition has another deck of cards. And the Next Wave edition has cards as well. Yep, the Next Wave edition has some bases. I hope these don't suck like in the base game. And we've got a nice fat bag of miniatures. We'll have to take a closer look at these in just a minute. Alright, let's move all this stuff out of the way so we can see what's underneath the divider. Desert tiles! Yes! Yes, that's right. A fat, white, balding man who doesn't like to get 5 feet from the air conditioner likes to fantasize about North African desert warfare. It makes absolutely no sense, I know. God, these things are heavy, but they're really cool. These feel like about the same weight, so I don't think we got any new ones, but I'll check just to be sure. Alright, I'm going to jump cut ahead and let's take a closer look at the components and see if there are any differences. Okay, I've laid out the miniatures here side by side so we can see the difference. The first edition has 4 flak guns. New Wave has 2. The first edition comes with 4 additional American guns, and the New Wave only comes with 2. The first edition comes with 4 British 6-pounders, but the New Wave only has 2. First Wave came with 4 Panzer IIIs, and New Wave comes with 6. So 2 additional tanks. So with the New Wave edition, you get less guns, but more tanks. As for the game boards, there's a lot of sand here, but it looks like between the 2 games they're the same. So if you're interested in purchasing your own copy of New Wave, then you've got all the sand, dunes, and wadis to look forward to. As for the markers, they have rearranged them between the 2 editions. There are now 10 entrenchment pillbox desert markers when there was 6 before, what looks like 4 new bridge indicator tokens, and 17 map overlay tiles when there was just 14 before. So in summary, Tide of Iron, Days of the Fox, the Next Wave version, does in fact exist. With this version, you get revised rules and 4 additional scenarios to play through. You get less guns, but you get more tanks, but you get more tiles and markers. So overall, for less than $30, it's a pretty good deal. Well, that about wraps things up for this double unboxing of Tide of Iron, Days of the Fox. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me a little bit and looking at these games. If you're interested in launching your own North African desert campaign 5 feet away from your air conditioner, then head on over to Amazon. They still have copies. They're around $30 currently. I still have no idea where these games came from. I'm assuming that China just hiccuped and they fell out of a container ship, so they just started selling them. That's the story I'm going with, but if you know the real story, drop a line in the comment section. Let us know. As always, I'm Ben Harsh for Harsh Rules. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.